on Thursday.
You may find yourself in a place where you're needing a little bit of motivation to keep going. And if you are, you're not alone. This morning, we are joined by author and career expert Darcy Eichenberg, who has a new book that talks about ways to get back on the right path with your career. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, good morning, Terrence. Thanks for having me.
We're glad to have you. So when it comes to finding that motivation that you may need, what are some things that people should keep in mind?
Well, I think first thing is to stop beating yourself up about it. So many times we get caught in this spiral, right? We think, oh, I have all these things I should do, or all these things other people are telling me I should do. And we just keep beating ourselves down. So I really think the first thing when you're not quite sure, like you're feeling like doing anything, is to give yourself some space and some grace, and don't beat yourself up. You're going to get into it. The fact that you're asking the question is a clue that you're ready to start to get into some kind of action.
Yeah, that's great. Would you say that this is something, a pretty common experience that most people experience?
Oh, everybody experiences it. There's actually some really good neuroscience that it's part of our brains trying to protect us many times. That, when something gets uncomfortable or confusing, and like we haven't had a lot of those situations lately, right? We stop because the brain wants clarity, but the world doesn't give us clarity. So we've got to really learn how to talk back to our brain, how to really be able to keep moving forward in the things that we know we need to do, and not hide and not hold back. But it happens to everybody. So if it's happening to you, you're not alone.
Sometimes you can be getting things done and maybe not realizing it. So one thing you say to do is track down what you're doing.
Absolutely. Most of us in what we do, we make it look easy, right? It's what we do, what we've learned how to do, but we have that little voice in our head that says it's not enough. So start to track. At the end of every day, write yourself an email or pull up the notes on your phone or on a piece of paper and just write down everything you have done. Like today, we're only in the middle of the day and I've had 3 client conversations, I've answered 10 emails, and now I get a chance to talk to you, and the day's only halfway over. So that's a lot already. And so many times we don't realize that we've done so much more than we give ourselves credit for. Writing it down can help make it real.
Yeah, go back and look and see how far you've come. Absolutely. Okay, something else that I think is a really good point on here, you say, make sure that you're getting some rest.
Rest is so critical. And I think a lot of times in our really busy world, we disconnect our head from our body, and we think that we can think through our situations, but really it's our body and our brain looking for some rest. And even if rest is just closing your eyes for a minute, maybe you really have a crazy life and you got to pick up the kids and get something done for your boss. But even just that minute, 60 seconds, you can put your timer on, can really help rebalance, recalibrate your entire body and brain and make you feel a little more refreshed. And of course, if it's time to take a vacation, time to get away, put it on your calendar and commit to it, because we all need that break that sometimes we haven't given ourselves.
Yes, and that grace to just give yourself a little bit of a pause to keep going. Okay,
exactly.
Another interesting note that you have here, take one action. What do you mean by that?
Often when we're feeling stuck, when we're feeling like I just want to hide under the covers all day, we think we have to wait to feel differently. We have to wait to feel better. We have to wait to feel confident to do that next thing. But the truth is that action actually spurs confidence. Action actually creates motion. And, motion puts us in even more motion. And so taking one thing, what's one simple thing that I can do today? Maybe it's writing down what I have done, or maybe it's picking up the phone and making a call to somebody that I've been putting off. But doing that one thing will have a ripple effect of then helping you get back into the groove of doing the other things that you know you want, should, need to do.
And then I know we can get lost in the shuffle, and sometimes you forget the simple reason that you began your career. You say, always remember why you started.
Yeah, we go down the path and we hear all this noise about, oh, how awful things are. And certainly there are a lot of things that are in the world and even in our world of work that aren't perfect. But there was a reason that you are doing what you're doing. And the frame I often like to give people is just to remember that somebody out there needs you. And so, if that's the best reason for moving forward, for taking a step, even an imperfect step, that somebody who's going to need you, won't get what you give if you're not showing up. So remember, there's something in it, not only for you, but for somebody else too.
Absolutely. You've given us some very useful information. If anyone is seeing this and they want to stay connected with you, possibly read one of your books, how can they do that? Where can they find more information?
My latest book is called Red Cape Rescue, Save Your Career Without Leaving Your Job. And you can find more about that at redcaperescue.com or any online bookseller. And I have an ongoing email list where I share stories and little tidbits, and that's at redcapeinsider.com. And welcome anybody to come here and stay in touch.
Very useful information, Darcy. Thank you so much for your time. We hope that this helps a lot of people to stay on track with their career. We'll have this information posted for you on our website, fox4news.com.